everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. Thank you, by the way, if you are new, because thank you. All the support means the world. I am here with a giant book haul, and when I say huge giant, I mean huge giant book haul. To say that I've been collecting these books over a long period of time would be a lie. I am the most impulsive buyer you will ever meet in your life. So all of these are impulsive. I've probably collected these over 2 weeks. That's just me. Anyway, I thought I'd do a little book haul. So let's get into it. I'm going to move all these out of the way. I'm actually going to start with the books I brought yesterday because I brought all of these books yet. Not all of them, not this one. I brought these 4 books yesterday from, wait for it, Aldi. I got these 4 books from Aldi and wait until you find out what they are, because Aldi Slay, massive Aldi Slay. They were $2.99 per book. So again, huge Aldi Slay. Normally my Aldi has lots of romance books in. They don't actually have any of like my genre, which I'd say was more fantasy. I like fantasy romance, fantasy, thriller, horror, adult, that kind of thing. I'm not massively into just contemporary romance. I don't mind a romance if it's like witches and stuff, you know what I mean? Would that be fantasy romance? I think that might come under fantasy romance. Anyway. That's my type of vibe, and normally they only ever have contemporary romance, Tessa Bailey, all that kind of stuff. That is not me. But when I went in yesterday, they had, obviously it's coming up to Halloween, so they had some spooky books in, and I got some good books. So let me just preface this, because actually, no, we'll get into it. So they had these 2. Assistant to the Villain. Is that book number 1? I think that's book number 1. And Apprentice to the Villain, which is book number 2. So they had these 2 in. These were $2.99 each. Can you believe that? Oh, $2.99 each. And this is basically, there's one more book in the series, and then that is the whole series, so $2.99 per book. But I had these 2 in, so I got those. And just to tell you a little bit about what they're about, I don't actually know too much about this series. I just know that it's meant to be quite a fun series and a lot of people like it. So I'm happy to pick that up. It says, I'm not going to read all of the blurb, because that will just take forever on all of these books. I'm going to read you like a little snippet. So it says, assistant wanted. Notorious high-ranking villain seeks loyal, level-headed assistant for unspecified office duties, supporting staff for random mayhem and terror, and other dark things in general. Discretion is a must. Excellent benefits. So that's obviously the job, and that's what she goes for. It's a girl, isn't it? Pretty sure. Or when her. So those 2 were the first books I picked up. Obviously this is book 2 in the series, so it's just a continuation. I'm not going to read any of that because I don't want to spoil it for myself. So those 2 were the first 2 books I picked up. Then they also had, I don't know anything about this, so please tell me if this is actually, no, it says here it's book number 1. I was going to say because there's other books here and I didn't know which book this was, but it does say book number 1. So, The House Witch and the Enchanting of the Hearth. Doesn't that just look like, sorry, you can see my, because these are shiny books, you can see my lights in them. Actually, that's a good point. I was thinking the other day, I went to London, and while I was there was like this huge WH Smith, and I went in there and bought some books, because the one thing about WH Smith is that they're always buy and get half price. And when I was buying the books, I was thinking, you know what, all books these days are matte. Have they always been matte, or is that something I've never noticed before? But all of these books that I've brought from Aldi are shiny. How bizarre is that? Is there a reason? I don't know, because they're all by the same publishers, so I don't know. Is there a reason they're shiny in Aldi? So these are the only shiny books I've got currently, so sorry if you can see the light reflecting in this one. You won't see it in any of the others because they're all matte. The House Witch and the Enchanting of the Hearth. Sorry, by the way, I'm such a waffler, and this whole video I will waffle, so if you don't like someone who's waffling, turn me off. No, please don't turn me off. I need all the support I can get. I just want to be rich and famous, Darren. Sorry. I digress again. Anyway, this book says, when Finlay Ashawan joins the kitchen of the king and queen of Daxaria, he's an enigma, which suits Finn just fine. He's satisfied simply serving as the royal cook, keeping nosy passerby out of his kitchen and concocting some truly scrumptious meals. But Finn has a secret, one that might not stay hidden for long. As his past begins to catch up with him, Finn must negotiate court politics and stay out of trouble with his familiar fluffy black kitten, Kraken. Love me a black cat. But things become even more complicated when he catches the eye of a certain lady who just so happens to be part of the royal court. Can Finn successfully hide his secret and protect his heart, or will the chaos of the castle and its good-hearted people get the best of him? Sounds scrumptious. That is a spooky season cosy read, if I've ever heard of one. It's such a cosy little fantasy. I love this type of book around Halloween. I just love cringy Halloween, cringy American Halloween, slasher films, Scream. Oh, I just love them all. I love anything cringe and like American on Halloween. And this is striking me as cringe, so could be my little Halloween read. And then the last book I picked up from Aldi, again, is giving cringy Halloween. The Village Library Demon Hunting Society. Oh, doesn't that just sounds fantastic. Kitty on the cover. Anything with a cat you've sold. From the author of The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry. I haven't read that. Librarian Sherry Pinkwhistle has a knack for solving murders, lots of them. Sometimes she's concerned by just how many killers she's had to track down in her quiet village, though none of her neighbours seem surprised by the rising body count. But when someone close to Sherry ends up dead and her cat becomes unexpectedly possessed by an ancient demon as irritating as it is infernal, Sherry decides that it's time for action. It will be a lesson for murderers and demons alike. Never mess with a librarian. That sounds fantastic. What have I just said about that book? I love a cosy, cringy American read around Christmas, around Halloween, and that sounds perfection. That is a contender for a Halloween read. Last year I read a book called The Witchery, and it was perfection to read around Halloween because it was just up my street. I loved it. And then I don't really know where to go. All of these books, apart from 2 arcs, I'll show you the arcs, but all of these books pretty much are from Asda, Tesco or Sainsbury's. If you aren't shopping in your local supermarket for books, you're silly because it's so cheap. Let me tell you, it's so cheap. At 1, it's cheap. 2, they're only £6 a book at full price. So sometimes there's sales. 3, you can normally get 2 for £9 in all of the stores, apart from Sainsbury's. In Tesco and Asda you can normally get 2 for £9, so which makes them like, what, £4.50 a book. Honestly, get on it. I swear by it. Honestly, get on it. I tell everyone around me, look in Tesco, Asda and Sainsbury's, because obviously books have become more popular. They're getting all the popular books in. So honestly, just look. Anyway, this was from Asda, which is exactly what I'm saying. This was from Asda, which is the 3rd and final book in the Apprentice, Assistant to the Villain series. I don't know what the series is called, but this is the 3rd and final book. Again, I'm not going to read any of that because I don't want to spoil it for myself. The one gripe I've got with this is matte, and the other 2 are shiny. But for £2.99, I'm not going to complain. Anyway, I just said that all of these were from Tesco, Sainsbury's, and that was a big fat lie because these 4 are actually from WH Smith. So just take that back for 2 seconds and then it'll reapply. But these 4 are from WH Smith, so obviously they were buy and go and half price. So I've been wanting to read this for ages. I Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. Now the back of this says, for a very long time the days went by, each just like the day before. Then I began to think and everything changed. She sounds fantastic. I've heard great things about this book, and guys, let me tell you, she's under 200 pages long. Perfection. Love a short book. So that's number 1. On the contrary to a short book, I got this chunky bad boy. I've been wanting to read this for the longest time because I've heard such glowing reviews about it that when I saw it in the deal, I just had to, because I've heard such glowing things about it, and this was the last one. So this is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. If anyone is American or into politics, you'll know exactly what that date is. It is the date that John Kennedy got shot. John F. Kennedy, JFK. This says, on November 22nd, 1963, 3 shots rang out in Dallas. President Kennedy died and the world changed, unless... And then I'm not going to read the rest because it basically spoils the whole plot of the story, but I've heard that this is Stephen King's best work. I've heard that it is one of the greats, and I'm very excited to read this because I love Stephen King. Gives me nightmares, but I love him. So I'm very excited to read this, but boy, she is fat. She goes right up until the end. There's no acknowledgements or anything, and it is 740 pages. So that is going to be a big read. And the next book I got in the deal was My Sister, the Serial Killer. I've heard good things about this one as well. And the writing is huge, so she's going to be a nice short book. But I've heard really good things about this. I've heard it's just fun, which is what I like. So this says, when Corey's dinner is interrupted one night by a distress call from her sister, Ayula, she knows what's expected of her. Bleach, rubber gloves, nerves of steel, and a strong stomach. Oh, that sounds fantastic. It says, this will be the third boyfriend Ayula's dispatched in self-defence and the third mess that her lethal little sibling has left ready to clear away. You know what? When I was on the train, I just quickly skimmed the first page of all of these, and the first page says, I bet you didn't know that bleach masks the smell of blood. So she's getting straight into it. That sounds fantastic. My Sister, the Serial Killer. Sounds unbelievable. And I love the cover, you know. I'm such a cover. I don't normally like people on the front covers, but I just think that is done so well. The black and the neon, and then she's like, it's like real life, but she's like a painting. Does that make sense? Like, it looks like a painting, but it's real life, and I just love that. Great. And then the last book I picked up from W.H. Smith was Murder at the Black Cat. It's a bit of a random impulse buy from me. One, I liked the look of the cover. Again, impulse buyer. And two, I just saw it. First, I saw it in Waterstones. It was new. I thought that looked kind of cute. And then when I went into W.H. Smith and it was in the deal, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get it because I've heard some really good things about Japanese stories just lately. And I think they are up and coming. Like, not up and coming, but I think they're getting more and more popular over in the UK. You know, there's that pictures and going around at the minute, and I really want to read those. But yeah, I've just heard some real things about Japanese writing, so I thought I'd give it a go. So this is Murder at the Black Cafe, and this says, Tokyo 1947, the Pink Labyrinth is one of the bomb-scarred city's shadiest neighbourhoods. There, in the dead of night, a patrolling policeman catches a young Buddhist monk digging in the backyard of the Black Cafe, a notorious brothel. In the shallow grave at his feet lie the dead body of a woman, her face disfigured beyond recognition, and the corpse of a black cat. So that is Murder at the Black Cafe, and again, cat on the cover. Eat it up. I'm on a spooky book run at the minute. The next couple of books are, actually let's do my two arcs because they are arcs and a bit random. So this one, I will confess, I have already read. As soon as I got it, I read it because it just sounded like right up my street and it was coming out very soon. So this is now officially in stores, it's out. So if you want one, you can go and buy it. It's When We Were Monsters by Jennifer Niven. It says, a dead teacher at an elite boarding school, 4 students who had every reason to want her gone. It says, it's the secret history meets One of Us is Lying. Now, if you have watched One of Us is Lying, that again is like right up my cringy, all of that. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to give that a go. And I loved it. I'm going to put it out there. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. It was a great book. It was great storytelling, and yeah, I really. So yeah, one thing I like about arcs is that it's just gorgeous, isn't it? Flop is unbelievable. And then this is my newest arc. I got this yesterday, and this is The X's by Leodora Darlington. This was kindly sent to me by Michael Joseph, which I think is I think it's part of Penguin. This comes out 26th of February 2026, so you can't actually get this yet, but this again sounds fantastic. So it says, Natalie's in tears in her bedroom. She had a huge argument with her husband. Slowly she realises she's already holding a knife. She's telling herself she doesn't want to do it again. Not again, because Natalie has an awful secret. Sometimes on her worst nights, she blacks out, she loses control. What do you do when there's a killer in the house and you think it might be you? Doesn't that sound fantastic? Yes, so I'm very excited for this. Again, it's giving spook. It's giving spook earlier. I love me a thriller. I love them. I love me a thriller film. I love me a thriller book. I love a thriller. I do like fantasy, but I think I'm in my thriller era at the minute because most books I'm reading are thriller. I think it's because I like how they just like kind of get right to the point. So yeah, that I'm very excited to read. And the next few books are from Tesco, Sainsbury's. Actually, let's do Tesco because Tesco's been eating at the minute. She's been eating. I've only got 2 from Tesco, to be fair. So I picked up, no, that's not true. What was the other book I got from Tesco? Didn't know. Right, anyway, from Tesco I got, can you believe that this was in Tesco? This was in Tesco. Spark of the Everflame by Pen Cole. She is extremely popular on BookTok at the moment. When old secrets catch fire, everything must burn. I'm not going to read more than that because I kind of want to go into this. Heard such good things that I want to just go into it, not on anything. But yeah, Spark of the Everflame, Tesco. Tesco, Dagger and the Flame. These are so popular as well at the moment. So this says, in a deadly game of revenge, the most dangerous mistakes of all is falling in love. I've heard good things about this as well. I've heard that it's quite good. This is giving cozy fantasy. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, Tesco, Eats. And then the next few are Asda and Sainsbury's. I don't really, to be honest, out of the three, Sainsbury's is the weakest, but these two are from Sainsbury's. So I got The Surrogate Mother by Frida McFadden. Love me a Frida book. Again, a thriller. I've got most of all of Frida's books I've got and read. Her older ones I've not read yet, but I'm gonna read them. But she just releases that many books that I just want to read a new one all the time. But this says she was promised a miracle. She got more than she bargained for. Now I'm not gonna read more than this because again, I like to go into books not knowing anything, but you can already assume what's gonna happen. Surrogate Mother. The good thing about Frida's books are that you always know this from the title or the first page, and then it's like how that fits together is the plot twist. So I like that about Frida. The next book I got is from Sainsbury's. This says 7 Reasons to Murder Your Dinner Guests. There's actually a common theme here. They're all thrillers pretty much, but I'm just in my thriller era. A mysterious invitation, a deadly prediction, dinner is served. Oh, let me read this bit because this sounds good. 7 strangers anonymously invited to dinner. At each place setting an envelope stating when they'll die. Stunned, threat or promise. No one is sure until the first guest dies. Now what might have been a tragic accident looks far more sinister. It's time for the dinner guests to discover how to live when they know their number's up. Doesn't that sound great? 7 guests, 3 courses, 1 deadly evening. Sounds fantastic. Right up my street. Right, again, she's not a very big book. But yeah, that was from Sainsbury's. They're all cheap. Now, I've got some hardbacks. The hardbacks are never 2 for £9. They're normally just £11. But £11 is still fairly cheap compared to Waterstones. So the first hardback we got is, this is from Asda. Catabasis or Catabasis. Don't know how you say it, don't really know. But there we are, she's beauty. She's Grace. I will show you the naked book. So here she is. Don't really like the colour of the naked book, but that is a sleigh. So yeah, this is from Asda. Again, I don't know too much about her, but the back says, Alice Law, you naughty girl, you're going to go to hell. Oh my God, what an absolute flop. Sorry. So that sounds good, doesn't it? And I watched a girl read this on her vlog the other day. She wasn't like in love with it. She did say it was like academia, hell vibes, which again, kind of right up my street. I'm a massive Harry Potter fan, so anything that's like, you know, in a fantasy school. And then the next book, Asda. Can you believe it? Asda. Diabound, Sable Sorensen. Let my hands act out your every savage, depraved thought, use me, I'm yours. I've heard from the one and only Queen Sophia Tuxford that this is like reading Fourth Wing for the first time. And let me tell you, I loved Fourth Wing, so I'm very, very, very excited for this. I'll show you the naked book because this one is gorgeous. Now I know that the naked books mean something, but obviously I've not read the book, so I don't know what this means, but I got the pink one. If you've read the book, tell me, what does the pink one mean? I think it's something to do with like the classes, but she's gorgeous. Does it tell you on there? It says Wayward. Don't know if that means anything or that's just a publisher. I don't know. It's normally the publisher, but yeah, there we go. End page, the map. She's beautiful. I love it when the map is on the end page because I hate it when the map is like a couple of pages in. You need to flick back like that. I hate that because when you're flicking back, it's just easier to flick back to the end page. So thank you for that because I very much appreciate, and it's also on that end page. So thank you very much for that. Whoever published that book, because that is very much appreciated by me. And then, wait for it. Oh, Twilight Who? Twilight who I'm obsessed. Wolf's gorgeous, they're gorgeous, they're gorgeous. Love the wolf. Eat the house down boots, whoever made that. Well done. Then the last hardback I got, this is a bit rogue, is One Yellow Eye. Oh, sounds weird, but doesn't that cover just really intrigue you? One Yellow Eye, what do you mean? And this has got nothing written on the back, it's all just reviews. This says, Kester's husband Tim was the last person to be bitten in a zombie pandemic. The country is now in a period of respite, the government seemingly having rounded up and disposed of all the infected, but Kester has a secret. Obviously she's got her husband, hasn't she? I love the neon, you know what? Slay. Doesn't that sound great though? Olivia Blake, Queen, loved it. So very excited to read that because it's giving like, I don't know, just a bit different read. Very excited for that. And then the final two books that I picked up, the final two books that I picked up in this huge book haul were both from the Waterstone, both from London, the other week to another listening on my channel. And when I was there, I just stopped by Waterstones. I think I've already showed these in a vlog, so sorry if this is a repeat, but if you've come before these videos, just, you know, just from this video, I don't know. But I walked past Waterstones and they had a shelf outside up the front saying or sale or something like that. So I stopped and had a look, and these books were £1. So this is Looking Glass Sound. This sounds great by the way. Writers are monsters, we eat everything we see. In a windswept cottage overlooking the sea, Walter Harlow begins the last book he will ever write. It is a story of his childhood, companions and the shadowy figure of the dagger man who stalked their New England town. And it is the story of Skye, Wilder's one-time friend, who started his unfinished memoir to turn it into a lurid bestseller novel, then died without explaining why. Doesn't that just sound great? Sounds great. £1. Then the second book I got is The Knowing by Emma Hines. Again, £1. This says, working as a living canvas for an abusive tattoo artist in the decaying underworld of the 19th century New York, Flora meets Minnie, an enigmatic circus performer who offers her a way out. Salvation comes in the form of an opulent townhouse that is home to the menacing and predatory Mr. Chester Merton. Sounds good. 1920s New York. Yes, please. That sounds great. I love the 1920s, Great Gatsby, all of that, and New York. Eat it up. Again, £1. So, how good is that from Waterstones? So that was my book haul. Lots and lots of books here. I'm thinking I might do a vlog soon of like a reading vlog. And I think I might read like all of my Frida books. I might do a spooky season reading vlog to see what we can read in spooky season, because some of these books down here are really appealing to me and I really can't wait to get started, especially on the spooky ones, because I am a spooky girl at heart. I absolutely adore spooky season. I love everything about it. It's my favourite season of the year. I love Halloween, so I'd love to just get my hands on a spooky book. I think I want to read this next, but she's only short. I'll let you know my thoughts on that. But then maybe I could do like a vlog where I read my spooky books and let you know my thoughts on them, because honestly, get down to your local Aldi. £2.99. But yeah, let me know if that's something you want to see. Let me know like what kinds of videos you'd like to see, because I'm loving creating them at the moment. So, and I'm always reading. I love reading. So yeah, you know. But if you're watching, thank you so much. And if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, you know what? If you don't want to like and subscribe, just leave me a comment and say hi, or you know, something, because I just want some friends. I don't have any book friends, so I'd love to make some friends. So if you are new here, hello. Please come and join me. If you aren't new, thank you so much for being supportive, and please again comment, say hello. I just want some friends. So thank you all for watching.